Okay, so we're talking about the weighted average cost of capital. The simple definition of the weighted average cost of capital is it's the overall cost of financing for a company. Okay. The overall cost of financing for a company. The other way to think about it, it's the minimum return required by the providers of capital. Okay. So I'm going to use a simple illustration to give you the overall concept of this. All right. Remember, companies, the main sources of finance, selling shares, equity financing, selling corporate bonds or going to the bank, debt financing. Okay. Now we're going to look at it first on an entrepreneur's aspect first. Okay. You are an entrepreneur, you want to start a business, right? So you need money for this business. You go to your uncle and ask for maybe a 10,000 kwacha, okay, for your business. And your uncle says, I want 20% ownership of your company, okay? Uncle wants 20% ownership of your company, all right? So this 10,000, this is the equity finance, okay? We just label it as E, the equity finance. And this 20% is the cost of equity, KE, okay? The cost of the equity financing, right? Then you go also to the bank and you get a 20,000, okay? This is your debt financing, which I'll label as a D. And let's say the interest for this loan is 10%. This is your cost of debt. Now, what the weighted average cost of capital is going to do is, from both of these sources of financing, you want to find what is your overall cost of financing. Okay. So the weightages, when you hear the part weighted, okay, what it means is this equity financing and this debt financing, you're going to total it up. Okay. So 10,000 plus 20,000, that is 30,000 kwacha. Okay, this is the total money that you've raised. So when we talk about weightages, you're just asking out of this 30,000, what percent is equity and what percent is debt? Okay, so this is the formula for the weighted average cost of capital. Yeah. Let me just write it down before I explain everything. Okay, so colleagues, these are the weightages here. Okay, these are the weightages here. Okay. So you're going to say for equity, the equity financing, you're just going to ask yourself, okay, out of this total 30,000 that I've raised, what percentage is equity? So you're going to say 10,000 over 30,000. You want to find the weight of the equity. And this weight of equity, you're going to multiply it by the cost of equity, which is 20%. Okay. Then you're going to get the weightage of the debt. Out of this 30,000 that you've raised, what percentage is debt financing? Okay, so you're going to say 20,000 over 30,000. And this weightage of debt, you're going to multiply it by the cost of debt, 10%. Okay, so here, as you can see, the weightage of the source of financing is multiplied by the cost of the financing. Okay. So 10,000 divided by 30,000, you get 0.33. So we're just saying that for this entrepreneur, 33% of his financing is equity. So 0.33 multiplied by 20% plus for debt, 20,000 divided by 30,000, 0.67. Okay, so 67% of your financing is from debt. Okay, so you're going to say 0.33 multiplied by 20, you get 6.6 plus 0.67 multiplied by 10, you get 6.7. Okay, so 6.6 plus 6.7, 6.6 plus 6.7, you get 13.3%. Okay. So, colleagues, this is the overall cost of financing for this entrepreneur, 13.3%. That is what the weighted average cost of capital illustrates.